been? It's been long. I mean, it just seems like, and I'm just not catching up with anything.
Well, start saying no. That's what I would say.
Okay.
No. No. Hey, how about no?
No.
Check back with me in a year.
Are you gonna? Are you gonna run? When are you up? When are? I don't know when I am. Will you run together?
We're up next April 30th. We are done. Unless you reapply, which I think
Are you? You're not?
I wouldn't have a chance. I wouldn't. A lot of people don't have made their opinion known.
You have a very good voice, and I think we all know you love this
I call this
town.
meeting of the Olney City Council, July 13th, 2026 to order. Please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance to remain standing as the Reverend Tim Loomis says our opening prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in prayer. Lord, we thank you tonight for the privilege to live in this great nation. We thank you for your blessings and your goodness. We pray, Lord, you'll be in this meeting tonight. We pray you'll be in our city, in our county. May your presence dwell among us, we pray. We love you. Thank you for all that you've done for us. We love you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Jesus.
Thank you.
Hallelujah.
Call the roll, please.
Councilman Miller,
Present.
Councilman Fehrenbacher,
Here.
Councilwoman Eichhorst,
Present.
Councilman Iyer,
Present.
Mayor Lambert.
Here. First item on the agenda is public comments and presentations. Are there any public comments? Are there any public comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to presentation of the consent agenda, which includes to approve minutes of the council meeting on June 22nd and 29th, 2026. Approve and authorize payments of accounts payable July 14th, 2026. Appointment of William Alexander to the library board. Raffle license for Rolling Thunder number 3. Payment request for the East Street Bridge project. Payment request for the North Avenue Waterline Replacement Project. Payment request for the LA Street Bridge project. And 3 payment requests for the Main Street resurfacing. Any of these items need to be removed from the consent agenda? I would accept a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing, proposal to exchange real estate. Mr. Bradley?
A proposed ordinance is included in your packet that would authorize the exchange of real estate between the city of Olney and Brad and Elda Jones for the construction of a lift station.
Is there any public comments? Any public comments? Last call for public comments. Public hearing is closed. First item on the agenda is an ordinance to authorize the exchange of certain real estate owned by the city of Olney. Mr. Bradley?
Same thing, what I just said.
Questions, comments? Questions, comments, or a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Further discussion. Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on,
While we're on the topic, if somebody may be able to answer, how long will we need that easement?
That lift station is planned to be built in 26 or 27, 28.
Okay. So after it's built, that easement, I mean, so, we got a couple options. We could either quit claim the easement back after, it's built, or we could say that regardless, the easement itself expires in 2029 or whatever. I mean, it's 2020, June 1st, 2029, plenty of time. Should we go June 1st, 2030, and then we can always quit claim the easement back? It's just a matter of saving a few $100s with a quit claim situation versus just having it naturally expire at some point.
I would give us a little buffer on that just to make sure we have time to build that new one and the new forced main as well.
So June 1st, 2030?
You think that's fair, Brandon?
That's all I have.
thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is an ordinance to grant special use permit for 223 West Cherry Street. Mr. Bradley?
On July 6th, the Planning Commission heard a request from Rhonda Easton for a special use permit at 223 West Cherry Street, commonly known as Free Methodist Church. She is looking to offer a school-age daycare program in the church basement. The commission voted to recommend approval. In your packet is an ordinance that would formally authorize this special use permit. Also included is a copy of the draft minutes from the Plan Commission meeting on July 6th and a finding of fact letter from Plan Commission Chairperson Vicky Lobas.
Questions, comments? Questions, comments, motion to approve.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Further discussion, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is discussion of possible ordinance to rezone 630 West Mac Avenue from R1 Single Family Residential District to C2 Commercial District. Mr. Bradley.
On July 6th, the Plan Commission heard a request from Adam Holdings LLC to rezone the property at 630 West Mac Avenue from R1 to C2. The Plan Commission does not recommend approval of this request. Still, in your packet is a proposed ordinance that would authorize the rezoning should the council choose not to take the Plan Commission's recommendation. Also included is a copy of the draft minutes from July 6th and a findings of fact letter from Plan Commission Chairperson Vicky Lobas.
We have received a correspondence that they wish to have read to the council. Tonight, it says, "Dear City Council members, our names are Josh and Lauren Womack. We are unable to be here this evening, but wanted to share a few thoughts, concerns on the property at 630 West Mac. Currently, the tenants must use the neighbor's drive to access their property because the drive is so close to the highway that it makes it very dangerous and difficult to enter and exit. If this became commercial, the intersection at Mac and 130 is going to become even more dangerous than it currently is. Number two, a major concern we have about the property being converted to commercial without an exact plan as to what will happen with the property, and our own personal experience, commercial properties must have site plans that designate exact water drainage, retention ponds, and be approved by the city engineer for development. As the Regent purchased by the Borgic Enterprises of the property just north of the property in question, that parcel was purchased as residential, cleared, and all site work completed ahead of commercial zoning taking place. With the property being residential, there were not any such requirements that had to be abided by or follow through with their proposed plan that the council was led to believe was the intended purpose of the zoning. The property has since been put up for sale, and it appears the convenience store that was proposed in the purpose of the rezoning is not happening. Now, with vacant bare land, it has caused drainage issues, flooding at the Walmart intersection during heavy rainfall. Currently, the city of Olney owns many commercial lots and properties. It seems that businesses were wanting to move to Olney. There are plenty of options that the city owns already without converting more properties to commercial zoning and residential neighborhood. Lastly, we are very concerned that the change of zoning will devalue our homes that are in direct correlation with the property. In 2022, we purchased the property at 505 West Mac and completely renovated it. We took an old dilapidated home on one of Olney's busiest roads and beautified it, cleaned it up, and have received many compliments about how it changed the whole area. That was that. Questions, comments?
Good evening, I'm Jeff Fleming and I represent Adam Holdings LLC. And I would just like to make just a few comments in support of the change of the zoning. First of all, I think it is consistent with the trend that is going along on 130 of going to C2 or some other zoning that is other than residential. It's a corridor that seems to be the place that not only the city but also the state is interested in. The state is actively going to improve 130 along with sidewalk and pedestrian structures. The property sits in the enterprise zone, and so if it is not allowed to be commercial, then it cannot take advantage of the opportunity to be in the enterprise zone. The existing area is commercial. with obviously Walmart and now with Borgic's change in zoning, and I think this is the direction that it's going. It is not suitable really for residential anymore, because I don't think anyone would want to build a new home on a piece of property that sits at MAC and 130. I don't think the residential designation in zoning suits the property that well. I think if it goes to C2, it allows the opportunity for additional jobs and other sales tax revenue and things that could be better for the community. And so we request that the zoning be made C2.
Questions, comments for Mr. Fleming? Thank you very much. Further comments?
I live right
Oh,
across the
you
street.
need to come up and state your name.
I live right across, I'm Catherine Bailey. I live right across the street from this lot. I bought my house in 23. We put a lot of improvements, and to say that plot, that corner, is not for residential, that's just unfair. I don't want a business right across the street from where I'm living. I've lived in this house, and only we grew up here. We moved out, we come back in 23 and bought a house in an area we knew was safe. It wasn't when we grew up, well, we grew up, but it wasn't for years after. It's not that safe now. I want to live where I am without a business across the street from me that I have to worry about people coming. That may not be what I want to live by. And that corner is very dangerous to build a building on there that's not residential. There's no way to put a drive in either side if you really look at it. Now that's my thoughts. Thank you. Gary gonna say it.
Good evening. I'm Gary Riker. I live at 615 West Mac, catty corner from the subject we're talking about. I've lived there since 1983, and you know, whenever he's talking about what's going on north of there, I'm talking about Mac Avenue, and it's all residential, all four corners, up and down Mac. So I'm thinking, what's that gonna look like? We don't even know what they want it for. You know, you zone it for that, and then you're gonna have issues down the road if it's something that shouldn't be in a residential area. It's a really small lot. When you look and take in consideration at the highway, there's 14 foot that comes off of that. And in the front, has any of you looked at it on the, on this here?
GIS.
Okay, where the driveway is, it shows that's the lot line, but actually, if you check it, when Lee Ginder purchased this, a portion of that driveway is on Scoops, Robert Compton's property. And I've seen cars back up coming down Mac to the highway as far as that driveway. And these people come home, and to get off that road, they'll take Scoops driveway, and then they'll cross over into that property. And I'm thinking, you know, that goes commercial. You're not gonna be able to do that. And I figure that it's only about 134 feet wide. Whenever you take off the 14 foot from the highway, and then I'm not sure on Mac, you know, the way it angles, I don't know if you guys have looked at it. And then there's a waterway in the back portion. So I'm thinking, what could you actually put there and it not be a problem, you know, getting in and out of it. I'm thinking you're heading north on Route 130, and you come around that corner, and you're trying to get into this property, and there's cars lined up so you can't get in, so it's gonna back up on the highway. To me, it's not, they've widened it there, but it's still not really wide enough for a commercial lot. You know, you think of Main Street and 130, there's 3 lanes with the business with a bigger lot set way back. So, I'm just thinking for safety, with a nice park that's down at the other end, kids will be coming down on their bikes and they'll be cutting through there. And that could be a problem. You know, kids getting hurt. So mainly my concern is, why would you do this on a street that's residential with a safety aspect in mind? And, that's all I got.
Further questions, comments?
I'm in agreement with the Plan Commission. I'm also in agreement with Mr. Fleming that I believe the trend is to go commercial, but I don't think we're there yet. I do not think we're there yet. It's coming in the future, and there are two lived-in residences immediately adjacent on those 4 corners. It is a very small lot to be commercially developed, and I would make the motion to not approve the rezone.
Motion to deny or uphold the planning commission. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded.
Did he
Discussion.
make any vague reference to what he wants to put there? Do we have
Is there any idea about what the future use of that may be?
Not necessarily, primarily because it's kind of hard to get anybody interested in it if it's still residential. Nobody wants to buy it until it goes to C2. We've had different people, interested in buying it outright. We've had people ask if, property could be constructed for rent purposes. So, you know, until we get the zoning change, we're really not sure.
I would be a lot more compelled if he would tell us what he's wanting to do. What does interest me in wanting to see it go commercial is what's sitting there now, and that can't be great for anybody's property either, I'm sure.
It's a lot better than a business there. Cause I live right across the street and see it every day. I do not want a business right across the street from me.
I mean, I guess I would caution is there's about 5 or 6 acres directly across from there. And eventually someday that
Someday.
will become commercial,
Probably.
I would assume, depending upon who purchases that property. So I would hate for us to set a precedent to where we would disallow something like that. And at the other end of that property is a manufacturing facility. It's industrial. I mean, to me, it would seem like the idea that the northern part of 130 is not going to be commercial, that was lost in 1997 when Walmart decided to go to where it's at.
But we knew there was gonna be a Walmart, is the thing.
Well, but I'm saying, but once that happened, you also knew that the commercial bounds of Olney were being pulled to the north.
Past Walmart, I would say, people thought. Across from Walmart and past, not more in the residential area.
I mean, I think as a commercial entity, you want to be where the traffic is, and the traffic is on 130.
Is that lot big enough for something that is really development? Is that, you know, you can't really put a large gas station there, you can't put,
You could put a small insurance office or real estate office or any
Or a
other
gambling
business.
place.
Or
You
just-
name it, I mean, it could support a small.
It could be a strip joint,
They
it
talk
could be an
about a bar in the back and
it could be
dispensary.
anything.
with, you know, that can be taken care of, with, underground work. So, I think the lot could be even larger than what it appears to be right now.
I hate to walk in here in favor of something and be persuaded otherwise, but the fact that we aren't being told what it will be tells me that if the buyer was that serious, that we would be seeing the site development plans. I don't wanna ruin anybody's neighborhood, although I don't like what's sitting there now at all. They came to us 2 years ago, and we told them no. I might be persuaded in the future if it was something better, but I suppose I'm persuaded that I don't feel compelled enough to change it. It's my opinion.
Further comments? Further comments? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. Call the roll, please.
Councilman Iyer,
Yes.
Mayor Lambert,
No.
Councilman Miller,
No.
Councilman Fehrenbacher,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ikorst,
Yes.
Motion passes. Request is denied. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda. Look at my agenda. Is an ordinance to rezone 804 East Locust Street from R4 Single Family Residential District to C2 Commercial District. Mr. Bradley.
Excuse me. On July 6th, the Plan Commission heard a request from Carl Richmond Memorial Hospital to rezone the property at 804 East Locust Street from R4 to C2. The commission voted to recommend approval. In your packet is an ordinance that would formally authorize this rezoning. Also included is a copy of the draft minutes from the Plan Commission meeting on July 6th and the findings of fact letter from Plan Commission Chairperson Vicki Lovaas.
Questions, comments? Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? Further discussion. Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is an ordinance to amend section 8.08.100, fire hydrant flow testing of the City of Olney Municipal Code. Mr. Bradley.
Current code calls for the party requesting a flow test to run a notice in a local newspaper notifying the public of the test. The proposed change would give the requester the option to not only publish a notice in the newspaper, they could instead have an announcement on the radio or request a formal posting by the fire department on its official Facebook page. A proposed ordinance is included in your packet that would make that change.
Questions, comments? This would apply to anybody, be it the high school, school
Yes.
district, the OCC, the hospital.
Yes, all it's doing is giving the requester a couple more options, other than only being able to put it in the newspaper.
So it's not eliminating the newspaper option.
Correct.
It's adding more.
That's right.
Just to clarify that. Yeah. Motion to approve.
Motion second.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? Further discussion. Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is a resolution to declare July 19th through July 26th, 2026 as John Newton Week in the City of Olney. Mr. Fehrenbach.
Thank you. I've been looking forward to this for the last year. Last year, we declared on the 300th birthday of the famous hymn author John Newton from our sister city, Olney, England. We declared his 300th birthday that week, and I believe that this is a tradition that should continue for a lot of specific reasons. Everyone will have their own. I'm really touched by his childhood, but I'll go ahead and give a brief overview of his life and his famous works. So, John Newton was born in 1725. He began his life with his parents. His mother Elizabeth was a devout Christian that read to him at a very young age, and unfortunately for John, tragedy struck and his mother died of tuberculosis when he was only age 7. And a tremendous tragedy that would affect him for the rest of his life. His father, who was a cold and distant person, did not care for him, instead sent him to a boarding school, and this affected him very deeply through his anger and his misbehavior. He would not last very long at that boarding school, and back in the day, you weren't going to school, you were going to work. So it ended up his dad took him to be a merchantman at age 11 as a career at a young age. And of course, any young man or woman at any young age like that is very influenced by what's around them. And of course, rough crowds back then existed just like they do today, and all the terrible influences that were in his life had a very terrible impact on him, and he was around a lot of terrible role models with his language, with his lifestyle, and fed on his tremendous anger. But regardless of working, it did not help him to have a better attitude in life. The people that knew him found him to be unruly and full of misbehavior. He could not hold a job. He would be such a quarrelsome person that even when he was drafted into the British Royal Navy through what was called impressment, when the Navy did not have enough people, they would more or less draft people as sailors, and they did that with him. For a short while, he would rise through the ranks, but through his misbehavior, he would find himself demoted and whipped 96 times as a person. He would later become a slave ship captain in the evil Atlantic slave trade. I believe he took, on the hand of 6 tours between the Atlantic, treating the slaves horribly. Back then, when someone would be sick, they would not care for them. They would just toss the slave overboard and just murder them. And he was such a wretched person. And you see that later in his song that he wrote. He was such a wretched person. When he fell overseas, his crew members hated him so much that they said, "You know what? The only way you're getting back on board is by shooting a harpoon through your leg." A deal which he took and walked with a limp for the rest of his life. In 1748, when he was on a return voyage from slave trade around the coast of Ireland, he got caught in a very severe storm, and in fear for his life, he remembered all the things that his mother had taught him when he was a young age, and he cried out to God, and it forever changed his life. He would continue in the slave trade for several years, but his conscience would convict him so much that eventually he had to get out, and he did so. He would eventually get out of the slave trade, and through his conviction and through his study, he would become a preacher. And his first church was in the city of Olney, England, our sister city. And there he would write, as he was reflecting and preaching, he would have these fiery sermons that would draw people from all over England, reflecting on his terrible life and the terrible deeds that he had done. And on New Year's Day in 1772, he would coin, or I should say, write the famous words to the hymn that we know as Amazing Grace, that saved a wretch like me. He would pastor that church in Olney for, I believe, I think it's 15 to 19 years, something like that, and he would be transferred to a church that was closer to the heart of London, where he would be very influential around ministers of Parliament. One of them was named William Wilberforce. He was a young man that was looking to leave Parliament because he was very discouraged, and he was very convicted by the evils of the slave trade and slavery in general. He was discouraged, and John Newton encouraged him to stay in that and keep fighting for it. So through work with William Wilberforce and through what would later be the pamphlet that John Newton would chronicle all of his terrible deeds in his life, called the Thoughts on the Slave Trade, it would influence Parliament so much that in 1807, the same year that John Newton died, and was, and maybe not ironically, but rightfully, he was going blind that year, they passed and outlawed the Slave Trade Act the year that he had died, and the year that William Wilberforce died was the year that they outlawed slavery altogether in the British Empire. And it'd be the year that William Wilberforce passed away. So, as I'll wrap up here, that as I was saying, a lot of people can take a lot of lessons from his life. You know, as an adopted parent myself, I think of all the young boys and girls who are angry at such a young age, rightfully so. I've seen those angry eyes, and I hate to think that, you know, the same problems that were around back then with with divorce and children being abandoned is still the case today, and that should challenge all of us to know that, we're not going to vote. You're not going to vote a better world in. You're going to have to create it in your own houses, or you're going to have to be the influence in somebody's life that will change their life. So, this next week, I hope that you all will reflect on this. I get so emotional about this because I've seen it in my own house. An angry young man become, go from starving and getting sick off of eating margarine and butter to becoming, maybe a future pilot or a aircraft mechanic. So I've seen God's amazing grace in my life, and I hope that this will inspire the town and keep this tradition going. That John Newton's life is as relevant today as it was back then. So, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Sorry, I
Next-
just, there was your motion.
Oh, gosh, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Oh, look, high five.
Next item on the agenda is a resolution to accept quotes for a remote meter reading package and waive formal bidding procedures. Mr. Bradley?
Representatives from Utility Supply Company presented information on a new radio system during the June 13th City Council meeting. This radio system would give our water distribution department drive-by meter reading capabilities. Utility Supply Company has given us a quote of $32,900 for the purchase of 175 radio transmitter units to be installed on existing compatible water meters. They have also given us a quote of $145,934.50 for the purchase of 400 new water meters and radio transmitter units to replace existing non-compatible meters. A resolution is in your packet that would accept these quotes and waive formal bidding procedures.
Questions, comments, or a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Further discussion, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is a resolution of support and commitment of funds for services provided by the Greater Wabash Regional Planning Commission. Mr. Bradley.
The proposed resolution included in your packet is in support of the 2026-2027 grant year at the GWRPC. The resolution will authorize an agreement between the City of Allen and the GWRPC for the yearly submission of comprehensive economic development strategy and an application to the Economic Development Administration in order to continue the economic development planning process in our district. Additionally, the GWRPC will continue to write and administer all Economic Development Administration grants, DCEO grants, and all other state and federal grants as deemed necessary by the city. This would be accompanied by a financial commitment from the city of $2,500.
Questions, comments, motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Further discussion, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. And just to give everybody an idea, we're $5-6 million just this year in grants that they're administering for us
Yep.
with the one out there in downtown, so they've done a good job.
Barbie.
Next item on the agenda is resolution to accept bid for demolition of 102 Hilltop Drive.
In your package, you'll find a request to demo. These are the next two properties, I and J, that me and Mr. Zuber have worked on for demo. 102 Hilltop has a tree on top of it. If you remember this picture from when we started this,
Yeah.
nothing has ever been done. It's a safety and health issue as of right now with all the water going through it. And 308 North Mill is another safety issue we can get taken care of with these two demos. 308 North Mill has asbestos in it. You can see the price on there is $5,346 to get rid of the asbestos before we do the demo. For $73.40 for that one, and 102 Hilltop for the demo is $63.40. The demos came in very favorable for us.
Questions, comments? Motion to approve both demos for the low bid.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Motion made, second.
Whatever.
Further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in
We
favor,
worked
aye?
well together.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is an ordinance to amend section 3.16.040, objective of the City of Olney Municipal Code. Mr. Bradley.
Following our annual audit performed by Kemper CPA Group, they have recommended a language change to section 3.16.040 of our code regarding our investment policies. They have proposed adding the language shown in the ordinance that is included in your packet. City Treasurer Gwen confirms that this is a standard that the city already abides to, but the added language formalizes it in our code.
Questions, comments? Motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Further discussion. Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is a resolution to accept quote for the City Park Lift Station pump, waive formal bidding procedures, and amend the 26-27 budget. Mr. Bradley?
The City Park Lift Station handles the most volume of all lift stations in the city and is currently only functioning with a single pump. The other one is down. Both pumps have been refurbished and is not recommended to refurbish a pump the second time. The lead time on this new pump is 20 to 24 weeks, so we need to get this pump ordered ASAP. The resolution in your packet would accept the low quote from Strafer Pump and Supply in the amount of $98,200, waive formal bidding procedures, and amend the budget. Funds would be coming out of the caustic storage building line item in the sewer department budget.
Questions, comments? Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Further discussion. Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is a resolution to waive formal bidding procedures for repair of the fire chief's vehicle and amend the 26-27 fire department budget. Mr. Bradley?
Earlier in June, there was an accident involving a city-owned vehicle. The city's insurance carrier approved the repair facility and authorized the repairs through its claims process. As a result, no quotes have been received, as this was an insurance-administered repair. In your packet is a resolution that waives formal bidding and amends the fire department budget to reflect receipt of the insurance payment and expense for the repair. It's basically, we're just acknowledging that we have the check from the insurance, so it'd be an in and out thing. So that's all we're doing there.
Questions, comments? Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Further discussion. Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is a facade improvement grant request for 505 South Whittle Avenue. Ms. Herman? Is there any questions? This is for the automotive, Abelson's Automotive Repair Incorporated. The application and supporting documents are in your packet. Questions, comments, motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Further discussion. Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda, report from elected and appointed officials. Status report. Mr. Bradley.
The Main Street project is going very well. Working east to west with curbs and gutters. Haven't really seen any problems out there, have we? So I think they're moving through it pretty good. So that's going well. The bridges, we have 1 day of flagging left on the bridges, and that is going to take place on Wednesday. It's been agreed upon by all parties, so
Good deal.
that is set. So that should be done on Wednesday.
Okay.
I don't know how many times I've said that.
Several.
This may be the last, though.
I hope so.
It will be.
It looks, it's not going,
We'll just claim it done.
I'm not even gonna
Claim
say
it.
that.
Yeah, right.
We're just
good.
gonna
Wednesday.
stay right
Wednesday.
there.
All right.
East North Avenue water line project is going well. Samples cleared. They need to tie in the mains and the service connections. They've done a bunch of dirt work on that project. It looks a lot better. Smoothed everything out, tilling everything down. Looks pretty good.
Anything further? Thank you very much. RCDC report?
I don't think I have much. King's Furniture had, they've already completed their facade grant request and should have the paperwork for
Chamber of Commerce report, Ms. Ikorst?
Okay, the chamber luncheon was last week and, it was great. 40 members was, in attendance. We have over 25 mini makers signed up for our mini makers market taking place July 31st during our 5th Friday market on Main. This is the kids and everything else. I'm all excited. Meat raffle is going on at the VFW August 7th to help fund our Amy Bissy Murphy Scholarship Fund. Food available for purchase, music from Guy Ash, and over 40 chances to win a bundle of meat. Be there.
Very good, thank you. Anything further? I would accept a motion to enter into closed session to discuss the sale or lease price of real property, acquisition of real property, and employment, compensation, and performance of specific employees. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second,